Hi guys, welcome everyone to Duoqueue podcast, where we talk about all the recent developments in League of Legends and the Oceanic community. I'm Alicifer, and joining me is my co-host Bensin.
Hi guys, thanks for tuning in again. We're joined today by Cubes, coach and analyst of Team Complexity, as well as Jinx, the manager of Team Curse Oceania. How you guys going?
Not too bad. It's a little early, and it's 2:30 in the morning here, so a little tired, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good? Excellent. So all of our viewers out there, could you please tell us a little bit more about yourselves? And we'll begin with you, Cubes.
I am the current coach and analyst for the North American LCS team Complexity, and as you can probably see in the background, my whole team is here playing video games, and my job is to yell at them while they play video games. So it's pretty cool.
So I'm the manager for Curse here in OCE, and before that I was previous manager of the Rose.
Awesome.
Excellent. All
Okay,
right, so let's get started with the Super Week. What are your guys' overall feelings about what happened with Super Week?
Well, I think looking at the schedule, it went kind of as expected. LMQ, obviously, like we've played them in the challenger scene now for a couple months. They came in, they 4-0'd. The big surprise was just like, honestly, like a couple of teams like Dig went 3-1, C9 went 2-2, but overall, I think the standings are where you'd expect them to be.
Yeah, I thought there's a few different things to look at in just in comparison between NA and EU itself. Like LMQ did really well, and it's just surprising that there was no other EU teams got in other than the teams that were previously there in the last split.
Was there anything that really stood out for you guys, like that really caught your eye, just something to talk about, like anything big?
The consistent performance in EU by SK. Like SK was a team like in the spring split, none of us expected to like have such a strong performance. And just watching them, like to continue that on in the first week of Super Week, obviously it's a long way to go until Worlds. But overall, I think SK continuing to dominate on EU side. And obviously, again, like LMQ coming into North America, like a full team from China comes over to North America, dominates the challenger scene. And right now they're first place after 1 week. So obviously, like it's a long season. But as far as a start, like I think both teams are heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I feel Millennium did pretty good as well. Just Curbs has been fantastic in the mid lane. Hug there, nice. And
Broken
Digital
shard, I'm
Pulse.
sorry.
Their two pickups went really well, Zion Spartan and Sifter.
Yeah, definitely. So, on the weekend, we had over 30 games. Do you guys think that that was too many for one weekend?
Well, I think Riot balances it out very well. Like I think we only do what 2 or 3 of these every split. So I think like in moderation, it's fine. As a fan, I remember watching. It gets tedious. You kind of just watch your favorite teams. You're like, oh, Complexity's playing. It's like I don't want to watch Complexity. It's like, well, ouch, that hurts their feelings. So I think when you watch Super Week, it's kind of like it's a really kind of something that only happens once in a while, and I think it's fine as long as they don't make it something you do like every second week.
Yeah.
I don't think 30 games is too much for one weekend. Teams have been training like for a long time during the split and intensively, so playing 4 games just in one weekend shouldn't be too big a deal for any well-prepared team.
And did you guys have any strong upsets from the weekend? Like anything that you thought would go a whole lot better than it actually did? I'm sure Cubes had a bit of a smile on his face just then.
Um, we weren't supposed to win this weekend, and then we won. So we didn't really follow our game plan because we ended up beating Cloud9. So I guess you could call that an upset. And besides that, in North America, I think everything honestly went the way it was supposed to. And in EU, I think one of the big things is just like it's the same as always. Like Gambit just not being a team anymore. Like without Alex Ich, I think Gambit's like really fallen hard off of the radar of teams. Like this is a team to watch. It's just like oh Gambit, like So I think that's kind of the two things that really caught my eye this weekend.
Shed a tear for the Gambit.
Yeah, poor Gambit.
I was a massive fan of Gambit since they were like M5, so just seeing like Alicifer gone and then their new mid laner and just like the team like crumble is just very heartbreaking.
Yeah,
It's like,
just rest
who
in peace,
are you
Fantasy League.
guys right now?
Well, one thing to touch on is one thing with Gambit is they have to speak Russian when they communicate, so that like limits them to
Yeah.
picking mid laners who only speak Russian. So it's kind of like you're picking the best Russian player, but it's like, is he really that good? Like, I think Alex Sitch is one of the only Russian players who has been that dominant. Like, no, I'm not saying anything bad about their new mid laner, but it's just like you're comparing him to Alex Sitch, so it's not like something easy to live up to. And as we saw in the first week, I think Gambit has a lot to work on.
Yeah. So let's talk about the games. Now, we had SK, we had Millennium in that. Do you think that there was anyone that performed better than expected during these games?
In Europe, like the hard part to talk about Europe is like for the last two splits, everyone just decides to beat everyone. It's like people like if you go back to the promotion, it was like none of those teams got relegated because it was so close. Like the biggest shocks have been honestly Alliance is looking a lot stronger. I know their coach, and me and him, we share a lot. Like prior to working on the big stage, so I think they're becoming a very like well prepared team. Fnatic I know had a little bit of a wake up call. So in Europe, it's pretty much the same old, honestly. And as far as NA, I have no idea what to say about North America because like Cloud9's 2-2. Like when was the last Cloud9 losing 2 games in a row is unheard of. So it's very hard to say right now where it's heading, but I think honestly it's a toss up right now.
And
What about you, Jinx? Just before we move on to the next question. Did you have any upsets or was surprised at anyone else's performances? Jinx?
Aw.
uh,
Not the
Lost it.
internet.
Alright,
lost
never
her.
mind.
Yeah,
Okay,
we've
so
lost
let's
her.
just move on there, Ben.
Aw.
Uh, yeah, about you're talking about the surprising underperformance cubes.
Evil Geniuses, that's who I did not touch on. Oh my god. I love those guys. Like when I was a fan of the game in like season 2 with like CLG EU, I was like, I love this team. They just
Yeah.
wait till 70 minutes and they win every game.
Yep.
And now it's like we're playing against them and obviously it's competition. And you don't want to, I wish them luck, but I don't wish them too much luck. I think it's very like, Yellow Pete's gone. Altec, who I've played against quite a bit in the Challenger series. Well, with teams I've been with, we've played against Altec a lot, and I think he's a very strong AD carry. But one thing that's going to hurt him is his champion pool. Altec is a relatively small pool AD carry, and the concern is honestly if he doesn't get one of those, like it's not going to be easy for him. But overall, I think Altec was a great pickup. But Evil Geniuses, 04 and Super Week, they really need to turn it around before like 04 is not a great start, and I think they've been around for so long. They kind of have the mentality like they know how to fix it. So I'm really excited to see how they do that. It looks like hey, Jinx is alive.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
No. I don't know what's going on. Should be good now.
Because Alicifer is a massive fan of Snoopy. So
Ooh.
just
Oh.
yeah.
Snoopy.
Yeah. No, I don't think we've discussed this every single podcast.
I like Snoopy. Snoopy's a great guy. Talk to him. He plays the game. He's actually updating his champion pool, which I think is really cool. Like he's starting to play the champions. Like, he doesn't play, he can't play a Mumu Maokai Cho'Gath, which is what he was like famous for. But he's starting to adapt, and I think he keeps working hard. I think it'll be a very unpredictable split.
And what do you find as some of the the bigger factors that cause teams to perform, either really good or really bad on the day? Just champion pools and stuff like that, or
Performance wise, it tends to vary. Like obviously for a team like us who's brand new, like the only player who had LCS experience was obviously Prawley last year. And last year the games weren't played in front of a live audience, besides a couple of LAN events during the year. So getting that crowd, obviously, and learning to deal with it is kind of a big learning curve. Like when we played against Dignitas, it was like we're here. Like it sank in as we sat down to play. It's like, oh my god, we're actually here. I'm like, oh no, oh no. But then like when teams like tend to innovate, I guess, and kind of break the meta. I know for a while there was the whole 4-person push thing that kind of came in. And
yeah.
when teams try to innovate, that can really catch you off guard, or when they pick something that's very unorthodox. And so the best you can do to perform well is just prepares like obviously my job is to make sure I prepare them as best as they can to win when they go on stage. And when they go in that preparation, they have to be ready to adapt very fast. So if you can adapt fast, it really shouldn't be an issue because I mean, when you think about it, when there's like 300,000 people watching, like the way the pressure doesn't get to some of these players is really like admirable. And I think it's just a matter of like preparation and understanding how you're going to beat certain teams. And if you go in prepared, you'll have a chance against anyone.
And how do you guys feel that you deal with those kind of pressures, Jinx?
What was the question? In regards to what, sorry?
With high pressure, like when Curse goes up to play, how do you feel that your team best deals with the nerves? I mean, some of these people haven't done it
That's one of
before.
our biggest problems, I think. Like we, especially coming into like winter regionals, like maybe playing on stage, just like the confrontation of a stage for the team is actually something that a lot of the players haven't like dealt with as well. So they're pretty nervous anyway. So playing online is one thing, but then taking it to the LAN and the stage is just completely different for my players. So I think that's going to be one of our biggest challenges. But it's just like if we practice hard before the games and we've got a solid idea what we're going to do before the game, picks and bans and whatnot. It usually helps to settle it, but it's not 100% settled. But it's just the best you can do is like practice for it.
I mean, like I've struggled playing at LANs with like 20 people behind me. I cannot imagine the amount of pressure that would be going down like on complexity of any of those big teams. Like the Oceanic gaming is like getting so much bigger now, and seeing that many viewers watching the stream, like I can only imagine how some of those players would feel. It'd be insane.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
How do
just talking about. Sorry, I just cut you off just before we move on to the next bit. Um, with these big events that have come up, we've recently had COL play, and then we've also had Curse just play recently as well. How do you guys feel that your recent games have affected how your performance might go in the future?
I think it was expected. Obviously, like when you look at how North America's become, like the biggest thing, I don't really know how to put this. It's just like NA's become so much better by importing the best players from around the world. And that's not to say NA players aren't good. It's just that NA is taking this a lot more seriously as an esport now. And because like solo queue players are slacking, more talent's coming in. So when we come in and like we were an amateur team who was probably I'd say considered a top 3 amateur team with C9T and LMQ. And we came in with that roster. We didn't bring in any big names when we made the LCS. So I think for us, we knew there was going to be growing pains in terms of, you know, how the season's going to start. And, you know, I pick up a game off Cloud9. It's like, like it's 2 days later. I'm just like, that happened. And so like, for us, it's just a matter of adapting as fast as we can and to try to avoid being placed in the bottom 3. And I think the faster you can adapt, the easier it's going to be. And I think for us, these guys have the right mindset, and we understand like it's not easy. And so as long as we stick to that, I don't think it really matters at that point. If we can just keep working hard, the results will come.
Just before we move on to Jinx, and now I just want to touch on that a little bit more. How do you feel like you keep up a positive morale?
Have you met our team? um, I don't know how to put this. It's just like I don't think these guys have like probably right there sitting there. I don't know what he's doing. He's crazy. Broken and what like these guys are like their mentality is perfect. Like on our team to survive, you need to be able to like work hard, but at the same time have fun. So like
Yep.
you just have like we like it's realistic. It's not like oh we're going 28-0 with the dream. We're going to Worlds. It's like well we're new to the LCS. If we work hard, let's see what happens. And you know this was a tough week, and obviously there's a lot to learn. And we're obviously like working very hard for this upcoming week. And the mindset just has to be like kind of like the players have to buy in. If your players don't buy in to like the mindset that it's kind of my job to kind of show them like this is how we're going to approach it. Like if they don't buy into that, it's going to be a very like toxic environment, I guess. So they have to just buy in and kind of believe. And if you believe, I think anything's possible.
Always believe. Always.
And so now the same questions for you, Jinx. How do you feel like your team's recent performances have affected your future plans, and how do you guys keep a positive morale?
I think the positive morale just comes from like the team being friends with each other in general, and we all have like the same goal, which is like we want to like represent OCE in the wildcard tournament, so that's what we're aiming for. Um, It's also I feel like we get stronger every day that we're together and we're practicing, especially with the help of the analyst that Curse has provided to us. So that's been a great help in like actually giving us like the confidence that we possibly might be able to take down immunity, which is what we want to do. So yeah, it's also just practice really. Like the more you practice, the more confidence you get. Having also like taken out immunity in some tournaments previously, it does like show that they are beatable. So that's also confidence in itself. So yeah.
It's awesome. After that, we're gonna go down to the LCS Fantasy League, and I'm sure like everyone has one. Um, how did you guys go? I just want to know, Cubes, you had like such an intense insight into the fantasy league.
This is gonna sound terrible. I don't actually have one because.
Whoa.
Okay, so actually,
Wow.
let me refrain. I made one with like my really good friends, but I drafted my whole team. I drafted my whole team, and I benched a bunch of people who I don't want to name because it's not gonna sit well. So I think we did good. 1-3 the dream, and I'm not in last place. So I think I did good. You know, we're not in last place. I'm not in last place. Like that's the dream for us is not to be eighth. So I think I did pretty good.
It's pretty good then. The fantasy league went pretty well for me. Except I did get a random. I got Woolite, and he actually did really well. He got like pretty decent scores, so I was happy with that. So I beat Tigan, so yeah.
Very nice. So, would you? Okay, I can't really ask you Cubes unless you want to go with that kind of rough team that you made. But Jinx,
Oh, no.
Whoa.
well, I can ask you if you want. I can do
Okay,
that.
you can ask
So,
me, and I'll see if I can answer it.
do you have any changes for the up and coming weeks?
Well, I'm probably gonna trade my whole team because I just got off the phone with Yazuki, who used to play Cloud9 Tempest, and he got off the phone with Monte Cristo. And CJ Flame Entis is actually gonna sub for us this week, so I need to make those trades as fast as I can before my friends get the insight. And then we'll be good. First place, the dream. But no, I'm not making any trades. God no.
Well, I'm just happy I didn't pick any Gambit members. Like, that's what I'm very happy about. Yeah,
Wow.
shooting shots, shooting shots.
No, I think with my team, I won't make any roster swaps. All my subs are like curse members. Not that there's anything wrong with curse members, but like I was getting in trouble for not picking any curse members. So I chose like Saint and all these people that don't even play and just sit on 0 points. So I was like, I can't sub them in just yet. We'll have to wait and see.
That's what my team was saying. They're like, if you don't
Yeah.
draft us, you don't believe in us. And I was like, well, first round pick, probably. And then Wester. I think I last picked Bubba because no one was like gonna pick him anyways. And I was like, well, maybe I'll actually get all my players. And then I got like people who don't even play anymore as my subs. So once CJ Antis comes to the house tomorrow, once Faker like walks through the door and everything, I think we'll be okay. So
That's really cool, actually. That's insane. That's so cool. Do you think it's a bit of a gimmick to get people to like focus on the LCS again, though? Because it just kind of came out of nowhere, and it's like right before Super Week and all that kind of stuff. Do you think it's like just a bit of fun, or?
I mean, Riot's job is to make money, is it not? You know,
Yeah,
like
true.
yeah, they're giving us careers. That's awesome. Like we play video games for a living. That's pretty cool. We're in a house together, but Riot, it's a company to make money. And I mean, the LCS is pretty like League of Legends is easily the biggest esport in addition to Dota, where the international still draws huge numbers. So with those two games as the top two, I think you want to invest resources into focusing on the LCS and to bring it more to real sports. Fantasy LCS is kind of a step in the right direction, but I mean, obviously the goal is to refocus on the LCS, and I'm not complaining. So, you know, they watch us play then, so that's perfect. We get viewers.
Yeah,
We have 7%.
yeah, 7%.
Or 7%. Yeah, I think it's good for players and it's also good for the viewers. Like, I think Riot hit the nail on the head with that one, just to give like some new aspect to not just the LCS, but like something that's interactive that anyone can do with a bunch of friends, even people that don't even really like follow the league that closely. Like, even if they don't really watch LCS from it, they're still logging on to like check and see what they're up to and if they've beaten their friends or whatnot. So, yeah, bit of fun. It's something new.
Excellent. Well, now let's just talk about that 7% that you just mentioned. So that was Complexity beating C9. Explain
Yeah.
to us what happened.
Well, we killed their Nexus before they killed ours, but to do that, we both had to throw the game numerous times. I think, if you want a serious answer, early on, like I've told them so many times, like when they won that bottom trade early on, it was like, well, I can probably bet my life Meteos will be here, and so Broken counter ganked perfectly. It was very predictable. Like it's nothing against Cloud9. It's just like you watch them play, it's the most predictable thing. So we got ahead there. And then Broken decided to like make a really cool kill mid for some reason to get a 4-1 lead. And then we threw a little bit. And then we realized we couldn't team fight. So West bought a Guardian Angel. And long story short, we waited for the Guardian Angel because then they can't win the fight because they like no one could get to Robert. So because the fact that Trundle outscales Shyvana, basically you go to a team fight with Guardian Angel and you just focus down their tank and you win the game. Like it's hard to break down a game with so many mistakes. Like for example, Hai was like at our inhibitor and like ran forward into us. We killed both their carries. We tried ending the game like really, really early for some reason. Uh, Later, dude. Good night. And basically, we just won the game on a final team fight where we fought really well, and we were able to just protect our carries. So I think overall, like we should have won that game a lot earlier. But I don't care if we win well or sloppy. Like all that matters are results, and we were able to get that.
I just thought it was insane just to see Complexity beat C9 because C9 is just so like massively hyped up because Meteor is like best jungler NA, whoa, 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 and then like an underdog team like Complexity, which as you said is a very new team, beat them, and it was just like wow, because that just shows potential. Like I mean, you're a new team, you beat the best team. That's just it's awesome.
That just to kind of add on, it's kind of like I don't know the perception obviously like I don't think like Cloud9 obviously like they made mistakes that are very uncharacteristic of them.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things that obviously internally they're going through, and I'm not gonna take away from our win. Like we're happy with it, but obviously that's not a game. Like as a coach, I'm pleased with on how we ended, and we got to work hard. But I think overall, just beating Cloud9, like I think it was the most hyped up post game threat of all time and stuff. So that was kind of nice. And like moving forward, I hope I hope it doesn't become like, oh, we upset someone. I hope it becomes more, oh, Complexity beat someone. I think that's the goal for the end of the season.
And now moving on back to the Oath scene, Curse beating AVR. That was a good game to watch because I mean I'm close friends with the bot lane of AVR, and it was just kind of good to see. Just like the Annie pick from Airy was just awesome because some of those flash tippers were just like absolutely amazing. It was just really cool to see such a champion that you don't see in solo queue being played in such a big game.
Yeah, I felt like the game itself, like, we didn't really play close to our best. We had some sloppy rotations and a few, like, odd skirmishes throughout the game. Our laning phase wasn't all that bad, I feel. So, yeah, some things to work on. I don't know. We just sometimes a little bit, we don't warm up straight away when we first start playing, so...
It was good when I was watching the games because we had a big mobile event where we all kind of watched the game, and just the team fight dominance Curse had was just huge. Like there was one big team fight. I think it was in the first game. It was like a Leona ult on, I think it was the 80. I think it was on boat, and your team just literally wiped AVR with relative ease because an Annie stun onto 3 people was just absolutely insane. It was really really cool to watch. But still speaking about the Oceanic Gaming and stuff like that, how are you going to prep to verse Immunity? Because that's going to be a huge game. Because Immunity, they're the big dogs of the competition.
Yeah, it's pretty hard at the moment, just because like we're in the same bracket as Immunity, so I love scrimming Immunity and versing Immunity, all the chances we get, but we're kind of like avoiding each other since we're in the same bracket. But how do we prep for that? We try to scrim like 6 p.m. So just, mainly doing as many scrims as we can around 6 p.m. Training, strategies, that sort of things.
Yep.
What about you, Cubs? Cubes?
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm done. I am not a bear. I'm sorry. Could you just repeat the question, please? Because I'm dealing with probably yelling on stream right now. He's going shirtless at 5K viewers, so it's kind of exciting. But what was the question?
Benson?
How do you prepare for the competition? Because you're versing EG and then you're versing CLG.
Um,
So
I watch a lot of League of Legends, and I stare at this computer screen and the monitor beside me for probably 14 hours a day. Today was actually our day off, and I didn't actually take a day off. I took an afternoon nap, which was really refreshing. But generally speaking, when the scrims are done, we do a little bit of replay analysis. You know, I get to kind of tell them, hey, this is what you did wrong, and that's kind of fun. And then after that, usually like around this time generally, when these guys are asleep, I stay up and I watch videos and I just craft out our plan against whatever team we're going to play against. And generally, I give them the game plan and they just follow it. And so a lot of the picks and bans specifically do fall on me. So if we draft poorly, you can kind of blame that on
We
me.
know who to
And
blame.
yeah, but if they play poorly, I'm just in the stands. So you can't blame me then. So I give them basically the tools to prepare. And for me, that's just looking at other teams and breaking down everything to like literally the last like percentile. And from there, it's really easy to formulate game plans. I guess you could say I'm kind of unorthodox in terms of how I actually like my style. And obviously, I'm not going to tell anyone because I don't want anyone to learn it. But as far as preparations go, I've been fortunate where pick spans generally go our way. And we go into matches, I think, more prepared than other teams. Now it's just a matter of our execution.
I know that in the Oceanic scene, a lot of the big teams scrim each other constantly. Is it like that in the NA scene? Like, does Complexity scrim, C9 or anything like that, or is it just?
Uh, we have scrim partners, couple of LCS teams, obviously, a couple of challenger teams. That's pretty much all I'm going to tell you. So I'm sorry, but that's really all I want to be able to give is there are challenger teams who are very good challenger teams who we scrim, but there's also obviously the LCS teams, and it's not like there are a couple teams who only have like certain teams they will scrim. Like for example, like in season 2, I know Dignitas and TSM didn't scrim because of the whole roaming Taric league strategy thing. But generally speaking, you can kind of scrim against anyone. It just comes down to scheduling and who your opponent is that week and who you trust.
Well, let's just touch on a bit of misdemeanor. So, in the recent winter qualifiers, I think it was, Curse had a bit of an issue with disqualification. Now, we want to put all the rumors to rest, and Cass has been generous enough to agree to answer questions as to what happened. First of all, could you just explain to us what happened from your own words and tell us how you felt that it was dealt with?
So the Winter Challenger series, we were in such a high pressure situation that we didn't think it through clearly, and we were at fault for sure for a couch sharing. It's just the previous, I think about 3 days ago, we were playing in the ACL qualifiers and we suffered a DDoS attack on Shelby's computer and 3 other players. So after that, we tried to like these precautions for the DDoS and whatnot, and then we ended up playing in the Challenger series. And once again, we were attacked by DDoS, and Shelby somehow hadn't managed to change his IP over and get a stabilized VPN at the time. So we asked the Riot if we could forfeit the match and use our substitute for the next game, since it's a best of 3 series. Riot said that that wasn't an option, so our only choice really, we felt we were in a bit of a lose-lose situation. Lose this match, not qualify like we did last about 3 days ago, lose out to DDoS. And our only choices were to play 4v5 or just forfeit completely from the series. So we had Perfection switch over in like the heat of the moment to play on Shelby's account, and then obviously because there was like investigations because Shelby was caught, because Shelby was being DDoSed, Riot investigated into that and found the account share and then penalised us for it. Yeah, so that's what happened. And in regards to like if I feel like the penalty was harsh enough or not harsh or whatnot, I feel like the penalty, it did DQ us from the whole of the Challenger series, which was pretty severe in itself, and the T players, Perfections and Shelby, have received individual penalties. So I'm still waiting on the individual penalties to come through as to what it is. Obviously, it's being dealt by NA Riot. So I think the penalty was harsh in itself, especially depend on what Riot will issue us with. But at the same time, it's lucky and it's very fortunate for us that it wasn't any harsher and it costed us the winter regionals.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there you go, guys. That is what happened. Straight from the horse's mouth. Sorry, you're not actually a horse.
You're so mean. First you don't say. First you call me Cubs. You call her a horse. Like what is? You're attacking us. I'm just gonna hide.
Ben's a bee. I don't know. I'm sorry. But anyway, yes, guys, that is what happened. So it was very unfortunate, and that was how Riot dealt with it. Now, I do want to further this question onto you, Cubes. Have you, your team, ever dealt with something like that? Have you guys had DDoSing and
Well,
had to deal with it?
well, okay. So before I came, okay, so I started coaching in North America a long time ago on a team called the Dad Slammers. Okay, it's funny, ha ha ha. After that, I went to Europe, where I noticed DDoSing was a lot bigger. Like when I say a lot bigger, I mean like you could be scrimming a team at like 4 in the morning and someone will DDoS you for some reason. So in EU, there were a lot of like VPNs and stuff getting set up. So it was really kind of a big deal there. But once like I came back to NA, it's not really been an issue. One time before I actually was working with these guys, when they were Complexity Black, they got DQ'd from the second Challenger Series because of a patching issue. But I mean, that's just on the guy who didn't patch to just that's his fault. So DDoS has never actually been an issue, so I couldn't actually relate. But I know like when that does happen, like it sucks. Like when I played Counter Strike before and I used to get DDoSed, I was not I was very sad. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Aww. Thanks, Cube.
Okay, so shying away from the DDoSing, we're gonna go because you're both managers of quite big teams in your respective regions.
I don't
Analyst.
manage the team, but I can
Okay.
answer questions if I
Yeah.
have to. So.
Sorry.
Excellent.
So there's obviously a lot more to managing / coaching a team than most people can see. Like, you're saying that you were up at this time, which is 2:30 a.m. over there, or 3 a.m. now, like watching replays and stuff like that. What's a typical day to you, Cubes?
Well, I set up our wake up call, so it's probably 10 a.m. The guys eat breakfast, and we just go through our schedule. There's a couple team bonding things. We have a couple hours blocked for scrims, replay analysis, solo queue streaming. Again, I don't want to share too many details, but generally speaking, the day is at least probably 14 to 16 hours for them, and I probably sleep 4 hours a night. So for me
Ooh,
personally, it's a lot of energy drinks because they didn't tell me that's what you need to do when you're playing video games, and for them, it's just like they get to play. So it's a lot more work than when I was in the challenger scene. I noticed like in the challenger scene, it was like I could just sit there for like 10 minutes and be like, hey, this is what we're picking, this is what we're banning, this is how we're beating them. Now it's like, well, every player's really good, so how do we beat them? So it takes a lot more time, and to actually play League of Legends, I don't play this game anymore at all. I don't get time. I played like 2 ARAMs today, and I was like, what is going on? I'm playing this video game. So it's very busy. But as far as managing goes, I'm sure Jinx can answer that because obviously that's her job, not mine.
Guess the same question goes to you, Jinx.
Thanks. That's just my normal day. So for my normal day, I usually wake up a bit early, around like 7 a.m. And that's
Jesus.
just to coincide with like the US time zone, so I can get on and talk to like whoever I need to talk to from Curse, and that usually just replies like updates and responses to whatever they've emailed me in regards to like shirts, sponsorship money, like gear, all this stuff, peripherals, etc., and just to respond and get their feedback and tell them what's going on with the team and where we are in social media, and etc. So that starts out like that, and then by about like midday or whatever, the team will start waking up, thank God, and then we'll be playing like some games or solo queue. They'll start streaming, and then it's usually around nighttime that we start doing all our scrims and whatnot. So we usually start around 6 p.m. because of the 2 New Zealand players. So for Kian, since he's already 2 hours ahead, it's already 8 p.m. over there, and we usually finish around about like 11 or so, and the guys will just get to do whatever they want to do after that. So yeah, and that's just rinse and repeat.
And how did you both get to where you are now? Because I know that it was Little Wraith for a while, and then you got picked up by Curse, and it was just like, wow, that is amazing for the Oceanic scene. and same with you, Cubes. You say you were playing for like you were in the challenger scene. So how did you get to where you are right now, like coaching complexity?
So if we go all the way back to like November, which is like there was no internet back then, but I was able to get on with a team called the Dad Slammers, and that was basically part of Old Velocity. Yeah, it was really funny. People loved us for that name, like Slam Your
Yeah,
Dad and stuff. It was
it's
really
just
troll.
wonderful.
Yeah, so Riot wouldn't approve it because obviously I don't think saying the name Dad Slammers is good. So we went by Skyline. That was basically some of the Old Velocity roster and a couple of other guys. And we managed to get to like the final four of the first Challenger Series. I left after that, and I went to Europe for a bit. And when I was coaching in Europe, someone back from NA was like, "Hey, these guys might need someone to come help them prep for the Challenger playoffs." And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I started working with these guys probably 2 months ago now, and it went like really really well. There was like immediate like results, and these guys are like they're really good players that don't get a lot of credit from the community, which like makes me really upset because like they do a really good job, and I kind of got fortunate honestly in the fact that like what I said managed to kind of like look like it worked, and once we got into the LCS, it was like, hey, you're a pretty good coach, and I was like, well, okay, so do you want to work? Do you want to coach here? Sure, and so. I've been here now for about 2 months, and that's honestly how I got here. I private messaged someone on Reddit and was like, "Here's my resume. Can I coach for you?" And they hired me within 15 minutes. It kind of
That's
helped too. That
amazing.
yeah. So
Wow.
And if
How
it's
did
any
you
correlation,
become the manager of Curse?
Okay. I was just like, do you want me to answer? Okay. So the manager of Kiss. It started a very long time ago, I think, because I've always been playing games and interested in esports. But I originally started from Dota background, and that's where I learned all about MOBA, and that's where I knew like that's something I wanted to do with esports since I used to play competitive. I'm too old to play competitive now, so just to be involved in the scene and still do something. And I've always had like team environments, so it's something like I do thrive and I really do enjoy. So I started out with last year at PAX, so I managed Big Jam that placed I think joint third, and then that just sort of helped like figure out like if this was something I wanted to do or whatnot, and doing that, and it's like, yes, this is definitely something I want to do. So I started like putting together like Little Wraith, and then from Little Wraith it just come down to like numerous connections that I'd known like over the years through gaming and whatnot, and then just introducing me to new people and more people, and it just built that way. And that's how I sort of got the connections to Riot, and then through Riot the connections to Steve and Kirst and the marketing managers and whatnot, and they come down to like Australia, and we had drinks all the time back in like November, and so we've been in talks since November, and only got announced in April, so it's been a long time, but yeah, it's how I got to where I am now, I guess.
That's
that's
cool.
actually really, really cool. Yeah, it sounds awesome. But just back to you, Cubes. You're saying there were a lot of very like really unappreciated players on your team. I just like personally just wanted to say that I love Westrice. So
that
I
I
think
don't
he's
hear
very
that. Are you
appreciated. I'm
really?
I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
Yo, Wes, this guy loves you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Okay,
Right.
honestly, like I don't know. As a coach, it's a little different, obviously, from real sports to esports, because in esports, it's very easy to stay in contact with your favorite players and follow them around and stuff. And so, like for example, Wes gets a lot of flack for being, I guess, a weak top laner, is what people say. And like he's not. Quite frankly, he's not. And if I didn't believe that, like I would have said something. I think like he gets a lot, and it's really like upsetting to me. It's like this guy's taken him 4 years, and he's finally here, and he works harder than like most people. Like my initial impression before I knew him, and then actually like living with him at the here, and then like going to lands with him, he works so hard at what he does, and then like Prawley, Bubba, like everyone just like they don't really think the players are good, but obviously like I mean I think they're all right. So it's kind of like obviously I understand the public's opinion when you compare us to the other 8 teams, but I definitely think we're being undersold a little bit, and that's fine. We understand that we're the underdogs and we're comfortable in that role, And if teams are going to underestimate us, then that's to our advantage. And hopefully, when we do go into games in the LCS, there will be teams who underestimate us, and we'll be able to take wins like from under their feet.
Awesome.
Yeah, so just like you said about how you guys are the underdogs, do you feel like the community pressure for both of the teams, in fact, to perform, how does that affect your public perception of how you do your job?
Well, I don't really listen to what the public says, because if you let that get to your head, it's going to influence your decision making and how you are in your job. And so I just don't pay attention to it. I think pressure wise, I mean, we don't really have any pressure at all. No one expects us to win games. No one expects us to get, people expect us, honestly, to finish dead last. So there's no pressure. The pressure is on every team that plays us, basically, because if they lose to us, it'll be like, oh, you suck. You lost to Complexity. And it's like, I guess we just won. So that's kind of cool. I think we're a team that's really easy to, I guess, get behind, just because, like, a lot of us are, like, really, like, raw when it comes to the scene. We all love this, and like you see it in every win. It's not just like, hey, good job, guys. Like, it's like, oh my god, we won world championships. We're jumping up and down. We practice jumping up and down a lot, by the way. After scrims, we just like throw everything, and we're just like, yes, because sometimes we forget how that feels. So it's just like, I don't know. It's pretty fun, I guess, is the best way to say it.
And
Same
Jinx?
question to you there, Cass.
I feel like there is quite a bit of pressure just having the Chaos branding with us, and especially like being in OC. It's pretty challenging sometimes. It feels that way anyway. So the best, like, all we can do is just like with the time we're given before winter is like scrim and practice as much as we can. I feel our team is getting stronger every day. Like our communication is improving, and that was like one of our weak points previously. So yeah, there's a pressure there, but it's also really nice to know that you do have that safety net of Curse. It's sort of like, it literally is like a family. Like when you come into it, they'll like do whatever they can to like help you out and help the team and whatnot. So it's really good.
That's nice.
And I guess that'd also be a bit of added pressure too, seeing as Dignitas is no longer in Oceania, and you are the the big NA team in Oceania, and it would be like so much to live up to, like the whole time. Be really, really intense.
Yeah, pressure.
Yeah, lots of
No, that's
pressure.
okay. It keeps you on your toes. It's like, it's kind of a good feeling as well. Like it's just, it gives you like an extra challenge in just like every day, like when you're doing stuff and whatnot. So it doesn't make it boring, which is really good.
So this is you, Jinx, but like, what were your overall thoughts about the first like round of 8 for Oceania?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. It went pretty well. There wasn't really any DDoS threats, or like everybody seemed to arrive semi on time. Yeah,
Immunity.
so it was fun. It was enjoyable as well, and I think like the casting was really well. And it was a good job by Spawn, who like just started really, like it was like his first time and that, and I thought he did fantastic.
And were there any games that were like you were particularly looking out for, just to really
Um,
watch? And
I was actually pretty excited to see UTS vs AVA. I just wanted to see how it went down the show down there. Apart from the curse games, but that was really it. Yeah.
did you find the game between IM and CMS was like a bit of valuable information for prepping for the games?
In terms of, yeah, no, not particularly. It was very one-sided, but yeah, it was
Bit of Blitzcrank
yeah,
ban,
quite
so
one-sided.
maybe the Blitzcrank ban.
Yeah, I'll look out for that Trinder band.
Yeah.
So we did have NV versus YSSC, and I think this is probably like OC's longest game.
The
we
turtle, the
Yeah.
turtle.
I
Oh,
watched
Turtle
that
was
game.
real.
That is
That was
how,
going to
like,
be my
I heard
question
about
for
it.
you. You said before this cast, and I'm pretty sure that was the only game from OCE that you've watched. How did that affect how you find the oceanic scene?
Okay, so Pix bans made very little sense to me because I don't know anyone's champion pool. So I was like, is that target ban? Is that just like a general ban? So I kind of didn't know how the bans went. I watched through the draft phase, and hey, Bubba. Bubba, do you comb your mustache? Someone's asking. No? No, he doesn't comb his mustache. As far as picks and bans go, Kha'Zix is not a champion I think is like even useful at this point. Even before like these new nerfs make him like a potato, but like right now I don't think he's that scary. So like Kha'Zix gets first pick. I'm like, okay. Morg Twitch gets sent to NV side. That's a really strong lane. I was like, okay, so they're gonna give up Lucian. But then like YSC picks Annie Lucian. And at this point it's like, well, NV has a huge advantage right now because they have they can last pick their mid lane. They could pick top and jungle here, and they should be safe. And then they throw in a Karthus pick, and I'm just like, Skara? Is that you, Skara? And like, I was like, I wasn't sure if that was like a champion that like, you know, frogging on Anivia. I wasn't sure if that was the case, but obviously I've been told it's not. And so the Karthus pick to me really threw me off. And the other thing is, I don't know how Jax is prioritizing Oceania, but to fall to the second last rotation, I was just like, huh. Like, that's really, really weird. And then Shyvana is like the most broken top laner in the game, so that's fine. And so when I watched the game, the thing is, Envy in the second game, particularly, which like that was the game I watched, it was like they had this really big lead and they just did not know how to close the game. And the thing is, they had Shyvana against Jax, and like the easiest thing to do about it is when you have a Karthus, they had a stronger 4v4, and Shyvana could just mirror the Jax. Shyvana didn't even have to pressure a lane. Shyvana just had to make sure she saw Jax so he could not teleport into a fight and stop it with her Dragon's Descent. All NV had to do was honestly like man up, like be a man, and just dive because they have Karthus. Like you want to fight in the middle of a Karthus, and they just never did. And it was like they were too scared. And like the thing with Ori and Jax is like they scale like so hard. Like Karthus scales hard, but it's like well Jax Ori. So eventually it was just like hey we turtled out for like what was like a 30-minute siege I want to say. And after 30 minutes, it was like, hey, we won that team fight, game's over. And I was just like, well, that was fun. So I thought it was really intense to watch because like that's a long game. And I know how tedious those can be. Like, for example, like
Yeah.
we don't win games until we lose 2 Nexus towers. So like I was just like watching and I was like, wow, this is intense. But obviously it's like this game should have ended at probably 35 minutes. And the aim length got doubled because Envy had no idea how to close that game.
Yeah. See, I've tried the strat where you just turtle for 74 minutes in a solo queue game, and all it takes is one person with like really big kahunas to just end the game for you. And it's just, I'm just surprised how long it went for. It was just absolutely intense. Like, how do you feel about it, Jinx? Like, do you plan on making any 74-minute games against IM or anything and just winning a team fight and winning?
I'd like to think that we could hopefully, like my team would, I'm pretty sure my team in this situation would try to end it as soon as possible if they had like the chance and the upper hand while they had it. I feel like after the 74-minute, like 70 minutes is way too long. Like even if you have a lead, you basically lose it by then. Everybody's got their 6 items. So then it just comes down to what champions you've got and whatnot. So I'd like to think like we do not have a 70-minute game against IM, and if we are up, we can just close it, well, hopefully before like 40 minutes.
I know, maybe like a Trunamere, Karthus, Vayne kind of strat, just go the whole hyper carry route. Just...
I'll let this team know. No
yeah,
worries.
dude. Just tell him Bensin sent it, you know, it's all good.
Yeah.
Now, so we're gonna wind down a little bit now with we've got a question that is wonderful. So now this is completely serious, okay? Cubes, Jinx. Now, if you had a child and you were to die in 5 to 10 years, what member of your team would you let adopt that child?
Oh my god.
I hate
Okay.
children.
Oh,
All right, so let
I'm
I
not
like
having
you,
one.
Jinx. I like you. Okay.
Good.
So
I'm glad.
so
brutal.
let's just say I have a child. I'm gonna name him Faker because you know Faker's awesome. And in 10 years, for some reason, an alien comes and takes you to a different planet, washes my memory, and I don't know who Faker is. In 5 to 10 years, Prolly is probably gonna be dead. So I can't give him to Prolly because I don't know what Prolly's gonna do. West is probably no one. I don't know what West is gonna do either. So can't give him to West because I don't know. He's my roommate and I don't even like we don't ever even like talk unless like we're waking up, eating a meal, or like doing team meetings or driving somewhere. So I don't know West well enough. Bubba's gonna be 38, so that's too old. Broken's visa's gonna run out, and unless he marries, he'll be back in Israel. And Robert is probably gonna still be playing video games as a job. So I'll probably just hold on. Okay. Do I have a coin? I'm gonna flip a coin. I don't have a coin. So,
Just turn around and ask them who would pay the most.
hey,
for
Probably,
your
do you want to
child.
take care of my kid when I die? Do you want to take care of my kid when I die? No? Okay. So, West Rice. We're using West Rice.
Fair enough.
And Kaz.
Oh, well, like I said, I don't watch.
Okay, if you had a puppy that you had.
There we go. If I had a puppy, I'd have to give it to Colo because Porky absolutely loves dogs. If it was
Oh.
cat, I'd give it to Shelby. If it was anything else, like my horse or whatever, I'd have to go to like Aryan boat.
There you have
Sword.
it.
There we go.
All right, so we do have one community question, and this one is from Elfish to you, Jinx.
Oh god. Okay.
And I know you said beforehand, but we're just going to go there anyway. Who do you think will win the State of Origin?
I don't even know who's playing. I don't watch it. Sorry.
It's 2 states.
Just say either Queensland or New South Wales, but if you say
See, I
New
don't know
South
anything about that. Real sport? Pfft. No, I follow A League and the English Premier League. Go Chelsea.
just say
I'll go New South
Queensland.
Wales
Just
because
say
I live there.
No, just say Queensland. Take it back.
Queensland
There we go.
doesn't faze me.
We're bros. Bros now. It's okay.
It is way too late. It is way too
Who's
late
could
for
have answered
this.
better than me?
What was the question?
Yeah, who's going to win State of Origin?
Give me
Just
the
say either
options.
Queensland or New South Wales.
Yeah.
It's like
I know where Queensland is, so that's what I'm gonna pick. Got
Oh,
it.
that's right.
Oh
so,
my God.
guys, you heard it here first.
Wait, is that the wrong
Goes to
answer? Is that the
Queensland.
wrong answer?
Go
No, they're 8-0 right now. So
Go
like,
the Maroons.
The dream.
but New South Wales is basically complexity. They're the underdogs, and like I love the
Oh.
underdogs. So I'm going New
Wow,
South
don't
Wales,
do
man.
that. That's like
Damn.
blackmailing.
Dude, you don't support the underdog. You jump on the bandwagon when we win. Like, has no one taught you how to do this?
No, I just
You got
I just
everything to
believe,
gain
man.
and nothing to lose as well.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I'm gonna cheer for the best team. Oh, they're losing. Go underdogs. That's how you never are wrong. That's the trick. Like when we're going to LOL esports and we're playing teams, I'll vote for the other team, but I'll like tweet our team when we're winning. That way I can't lose. I don't actually do that.
Oh, dear. All right, just having a look for any more questions. We've got a lot of silly ones.
I
Oh,
don't think Fastfee's happy with you, Benson.
oh no. Oh dear Lord.
Damn, dude.
Basti, please. I'm sorry. Now we've got
Oh.
one question that's just popped up from the wonderful Jason. If you had to name your pet after a player in the LoL scene, be that NA or Oceania, what would you name it? It's a
What
pug,
animal? No,
okay?
no, no, no. This
It's a
is
pug.
very important. It's
a pug.
What animal?
It's a pug, like a pug, yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna name that Prawley easily. Not even. Next question. I'm naming it Prawley, 100%.
Oh gosh, I don't know. A player.
Yep.
It's a
I already
pug.
know who I know what I'm calling mine, like 100%.
They're cute,
That's
right? They're
right.
ugly but interesting, right?
The ones with them, they're so cute.
Oh wait, they're
like,
cute.
adorable.
They're
Yeah.
Wait, are they cute?
Yeah, and they snort. And it's adorable as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be Prawley.
I'll go with Ramsey. Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
What about you, Alicifer? In before Snoopy.
No, but that's not bad. I was thinking I'd get a pet cow and call it Mad Life.
What?
Can I do that? Mad Life, and he's Alistair. Don't you want me?
Oh.
It works. It works.
Well, if I had to name
So
a pug in the oceanic scene, it'd 100% be Swiper because he's the cutest person alive. And then if
Oh.
Are you saying snorts as well?
oh man, I don't care. He's cute. Dorbs. If it, if it was the NA scene, I'm just gonna call it I'm a cutie pie.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm a cutie pie. Just all works out.
Don't mush me.
All right, guys. I think that is our hour up. Do we have any more closing remarks? Benson, do you want to take?
No, there's nothing really else I have to say. To be honest, it's awesome that. Just thank you both for coming. It's really, really appreciate it. It's really cool. Have you either of you got any shout outs to do? So, Cubes.
Well, I have to shout out a couple of people who I promised, otherwise I'm probably gonna get hunted down. So, I think he goes by Piggy Boy 1 in the Oceanic scenes. I have to shout him out. I have to shout Fastfy out as well, because I promised Fastfy a shout out. Okay, those are only two people I promised shout outs, thank God. And I have to thank our sponsors, obviously, Sound Blaster, Cyberpower PC, Newegg Creative, Twitch, Leet Gaming, DX Racer, Scuff Gaming, and Opponentware.
Jace.
I'll give a shout out to my team, my Chris Call, Alienware Cooler Master, and my friends and family at AKG. What is this tumbleweed? I'm serious.
AKG. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they're our sister team.
See, I get that joke. So, okay, awesome. And I just want to wish both of you like massive luck for the weekend coming, because you both got a lot of games to go through, and I hope it all goes well. And if anyone here wants to find you, where can they? Facebook, Twitter, what do we got?
What? I don't even know if I have a Facebook. I don't use it. Don't.
It's
I'm on
overrated.
Twitter at Cole_Cubes. Don't follow me. I'm not very interesting. If you're gonna follow someone, follow my team. They're all pretty cool. I just make tweets about League of Legends. I'm not very interesting. But Jinx, I did follow you, so you have to follow me back, or I'm gonna be very sad.
I'll get on that.
Networking 101.
Twitter is at CastellA and Facebook is /CastellA.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right. I think that was it. So, thank you to all our viewers that tuned in to watch today. Duoqueue podcast will be back next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Be there or be square. If you enjoyed the show, please follow us on Twitch and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, please check out our website, duoqueue.net.au, for everything League of Legends in Oceania. You may also find all the links to our guests at the description below on the YouTube pod. You may also follow me on Twitter at Alicifer, and you can find the lovely Bensin at BensonAU. This has been Duoqueue Podcast. Thanks for watching, guys, and we're tuning out.